And welcome to a special edition of We Not Me. Conan, Paul, of course, Jack the Tab Man Lander, and featured guest is David Weiss. How's it going, Dave?
Going well, guys. Thanks for having me. This is going to be a fun conversation.
David Weiss. How's it going, Dave?
Going well, guys. Thanks for having me. This is going to be what? Somebody have their stream flip playing? Or is that me?
Paul. Yeah, no, Paul, your volume's feeding into your mic. You're doing a loop around on audio.
There you go. Sorry about that.
Okay. All good.
So, I know a lot of people here are just, somewhere on the fence and everything like that. But, yeah, so, what new have you found?
Well, I've been doing a lot on people, one of the Globers got nothing except straw man arguments, a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of baby crying, and the lights in the sky and sunsets, things going below the horizon. So I've been focusing on the horizon a lot, and there's some very interesting way to look at it. So what do all flat earthers say about the horizon? What does it do?
Curves.
It rises to your eye level.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I have a different saying now, changing it. The horizon appears to be at your eye level, but actually it's thousands of feet above your eye level. Interesting, right? So what are we looking at here? We're looking at a building, looking straight up, and we got the sun. Let's say it's noon, and then the sun starts moving across the sky. And maybe it's 1 o'clock, and the sun is where? Is the sun below the building, or is it beyond the building?
What's beyond?
It's beyond the building. Now, if you wanted to see the sun, you can go up high or go backwards to get a better angle looking at it, right? If you went backwards a mile, that building would be lower, and you'd be able to see the sun. So
you'd have to change your vantage point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you change your vantage point. So the sun just goes beyond the building. So just remember that. Remember that. So here we go. I want to go. Here we go. Let me just change this. So this is a perspective grid. We all know how the floor ramps up, the sky goes down, the sides come in, and we see to the point that we're looking at. That's the vanishing point. So I put this guy here. This is his eye level. This is where he sees his horizontal eye zone, right? His horizon. And I throw this mountain in here. What can we say about this mountain? Is that top of that mountain at his eye level, or is it above it?
Oh, it's above.
These are all easy questions. No trick questions. It's very easy. Okay. So this is several thousand feet above his eye level. Right? So we got the sun up here, and the sun is just going to move away. And just like the building, is it below the mountain, or is it just beyond it?
Beyond it.
Beyond it. So he could go up, or he could go backwards. Let's make him go backwards 25 miles, right? 25 miles, that's what it's going to look like. So this horizon here appears to be at his eye level, but we know it's thousands of feet above his eye level. Now, even if the earth was curved, 25 miles, what's that, 300 feet of curvature or whatever, 285 feet of curvature. This is still thousands of feet above his eye line. So the sun just goes below it or beyond it. It goes beyond it. But it's not at his eye level. He sees it at his eye level, but it's thousands of feet above him. Now, if we add the cloud deck, which is above the mountain, and the sun, which is above the clouds, the sun goes away. It goes beyond. Now, what can we say about this line here? This line is the top of the mountains, which is thousands of feet above his eyes. It's also the atmospheric deck of opacity, the clouds, which have merged into that line, which is thousands of feet above the mountain. So this horizon line is thousands of feet above him. So when things go beyond it, they just go beyond it. Like if you were sitting on the ground and someone's standing on the other side of a fence talking to you, a wood fence, you go, hey, how you doing? zoom here. They walk away, they're going to disappear from the bottom up. They're just going to go away. And that's how things set. This is not at your eye level. This is not Earth curve. This is high up in the sky, and it's merged together. Now, the globers say, and this is a straw man, of course, well, if the sun sets, why don't you zoom in and bring it back into perspective? You can't, because it's behind, it's beyond something opaque. A celestial object viewed from a terrestrial point of view, you can't bring it in because we have layers. We have the atmospheric layer, which that atmosphere, let's say it's 5 miles of atmosphere, compresses and becomes opaque into the distance. So anything above it goes beyond it. It goes beyond, right? Now, a terrestrial point of view, let's say we're looking out over the water, and we have boats out there, and the boat goes far away, and you can't see it because of its angular size. Different reason. It's not going behind or beyond. It's calm water, calm day, no waves. It's going beyond. It's going into the horizon, and you can zoom in and bring that back. You can bring its angular size back. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So just for those of you, if there's anybody that doesn't understand that, let's take a look at this. So you can't see these boats, but I'm zooming in, and all of a sudden, oh, there are the boats. There are the boats. Now, we couldn't see them because of their angular size. Now, there's another reason we can't see the bottoms of these boats, not because of Earth's curvature, because of waves. Waves. See this boat? It's behind a swell. This is a wide amplitude day of waves. So that's why we're seeing it go up and down. But when the waves are closer, it literally just becomes a line. Like my finger can't hide my face, right? But what if my finger was in the foreground? So these little waves in the foreground will hide. Look at this boat. It's not over Earth curve. It's just behind a wave. They got nothing. Globers have nothing.
No.
Nothing. But you know what? Here's the thing. You guys all know the Earth is flat. And I'm explaining this to you, and you probably knew some of this, but I'm explaining it in maybe a slightly different way. And I'm watching you guys. You guys are listening. You're thinking. You're using your God-given common sense rather than just not thinking and regurgitating garbage that we've all been indoctrinated to. That's what Globers have. They can read books if they can read, and they just regurgitate what they're told. Listen, if you can't tell, I'm friggin' disgusted with Globers. I'm just disgusted. Now, there's different types of people. There's ignorant people. Now, that's not an insult. We're all ignorant on everything that we don't know, right? We don't know something. We're ignorant to that fact. And there's people that are ignorant to flat Earth because they were indoctrinated and they never looked into it. And they're ignorant people are trusting people. They trust their teachers, and their teachers trust their teachers that read the textbooks. Everyone is just regurgitating what the controllers want us to know. So those people, I'm okay with it. But then when you sit down and have this conversation that we're having right now, and they refuse to accept any new information into their fluoridated brains, that's when I have a problem. That's when I get disgusted. I'm not disgusted with people that are blindly ignorant. I'm disgusted with people that are willfully ignorant. And there's people out there, that I just did a show with this guy who hates flat Earth. And he was actually very nice. But every time I destroyed one of his points, he just goes to the next one, goes to the next one, goes to the next one. And then throws his hands up and goes, well, why the lie? Why would they lie? Why would they lie? And that's the most fun. That's the best one. I mean, the lie is how they keep us slaves. And they don't, well, is everyone lying? No, you're not. And you're fighting to protect the ball. I mean, they've literally brainwashed us into fighting to remain slaves in their the prison for our minds. It's amazing.
Oh, and a lot of their so-called agenda gets thrown out. It's so much of their model and all of their plans for saying, here, this is the only place that you have to live. This is it. And you can't go to Antarctica and all these things. Well, if you're on a one plane, well, how far out does it go? So, you know, what's at the end of it? And that's what destroys this whole deep state. Well, you have limited land, limited resources. It blows up all of their narratives. And it's just, and you see a lot of people who are, you know, smart, intelligent people who will definitely not be caught. They'll make fun of flat Earth because it's always been this stigma that you're crazy and, you know, you're an idiot, or, you know, you, these people will lose their job or they'll lose their credibility in whatever they're doing because nobody wants to actually look at it and actually take an objective view and say, here, let me just think about this. Let me sit down and do the math. Let me just sit there and do the math. Now, a lot of people can't do some of the higher math, but it's just people don't want to take that step. They don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. They don't want to be a, you know, labeled, oh, well, this guy's, you know, just look at flight paths. I mean, why would a flight path from Miami to, you know, Africa go up and across Europe? How would that make any sense? But when you put it on the UN's map, or sorry, NATO's map, then it becomes a pretty straight line. You know, I always thought that flight paths were very telling as far as, you know, compare the flight paths on a globe model, and then if you stick them on a, you know, what you would call a flat Earth, then they start to line up and become more of a straight line, because they're going to think of fuel prices, think of the cost per seat mile. They're going to go in the straightest possible line they can to make sure that they're maximizing profit. They're not going to go on a huge loop to say, here, this is a good idea. We don't really mind going, you know, 5,000 miles out of our way. That's just, you know, how the model works.
Yeah, I totally agree. The flight routes, think about this. On a globe, the top half of the globe is the north. And if you take any combination of any two airports in the north, no plane would ever go below the equator to get from one northern airport to another northern airport. Does that make sense, right? That makes sense logically.
Yeah.
You know, most people are like, well, I don't know. Think about it for a second. On a ball, you know, would you ever go below the equator to get to another northern location? The answer is no. And guess what? No flights do. No flights in the north go to the south to get to the north. But for some reason in the south, all these planes go to the north for some crazy reason, right? Yeah. Here, you know, how come this plane doesn't go right across here?
Yeah.
They go all the way up here. That's crossing the equator twice. What the heck is going on there? It's just incredible. Here's an emergency landing from Dallas to Beijing and went like 1,000 miles out of the way to Calgary. And they got there in like 15 minutes. How do you go 1,000 miles in 15 minutes? Right. But if you look at it, Calgary's right on that line. Right there.
Before you get there.
It's amazing.
Well, like you're talking about, it would be the same as you split the, you know, take the United States and, you know, split it north and south in half. It'd be like going from Texas to Illinois to Florida.
Yeah.
Nobody would do that. You know, when you break it down like that, then people say, oh yeah, I've never seen that before. Yeah, because they don't do it.
Right. I mean, India to Amsterdam to Argentina. Well, why don't they just cut right across here? Right, boom, right across, bam. And if you look at it on a flat Earth map, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Amazing. It's almost a straight line. Yeah. It's just amazing. It's so amazing.
Those are the things that you really can wake people up with, just to really want to just say, hey, forget all this. Just look at flight paths. Look at the straight line. Does it start to make a little more sense now?
Yeah. Southern flights are some of the best. So,
well, wouldn't they have to, if you're flying from Seattle to LA, wouldn't you have to take off heading towards Florida in order to get there on a pursuit angle fast, you know, because there's no way you're spinning, right?
Here's my,
would you need a pursuit angle, like the wrong side corner heading after the opposite side wide receiver to get across the field? That's a heck of a pursuit angle.
Is that because of the spin of the Earth you're talking about?
I would guess so. Yeah. Wouldn't you have to take off totally
How
out of
about
the
this?
wrong direction?
You're on the North Pole. Now the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. How fast are you spinning? Not angular speed, tangential speed at the North Pole. And the answer is not at all. You're just pirouetting. You're just turning around. If you're a mile from the North Pole, you're going to go 6.28 miles in 24 hours. If you're on the equator, you're going to go 24,901 miles. So that is moving considerably faster, right? So you got an airplane on the North Pole, you take off, and you want to land in Ecuador on a north-south runway that's moving sideways at 1,000 miles an hour. How do you get that sideways tangential speed? How do you get it?
Good luck.
Yeah. So,
A lot of yaw. A lot of yaw.
yeah. So here's my north and south, right? And any plane going from here to here to whatever, they would never go below. In the south, all those planes, they do go all over. They go all over the world. Here's one from Rio to Sydney, stops in Los Angeles. Wait a minute. What's wrong with this? Why does it go up there? Right? This meme alone destroys the globe. It's over. It's over. People. You want to argue more? What's wrong with you? Right? This is I love this. South Africa to Australia, and these are the 3 different flight routes. So to Durban, to Dubai, Hong Kong, or Malaysia. Right? You look at that on a flat Earth. Pretty reasonable. Crazy. Jason, you look puzzled.
Well, no, I mean, on that flat, no, I'm not puzzled. The whole thing is because they never talk about the Eastern Hemisphere. They always talk about the Western Hemisphere. So it's like, it's like, where's that border? Like for that, is it like right where the land is? And then that's where they're like, oh, East, don't worry about that. That's, yeah, don't, with these shipping routes. I mean, if they put these shipping routes like these, for the vessels and everything like that on an actual flat Earth map, we would actually be able to see where they're stopping out there. Because it's funny because we talk about the airplanes, but it's like, hey, we have to look at the shipping with how they're moving these cargo containers too. It's like, what is out in the Pacific out there? There's nothing out. Oh, don't worry about this. They start conforming all that. What's out there? Why isn't out there?
I love people when they say, on your flat Earth, how did Japan attack Pearl Harbor? Well, it's small. Here's Japan, and here's Hawaii, right there. It's a straight line. It's literally like it couldn't be easier. Like if you wanted to pick a strategic place to attack Hawaii, I'd pick Japan. Okay, it's a great staging point.
Plus, when government tells you, a couple of days ahead of time, well, shit like that happens.
Yeah.
Well, it also makes sense why they landed the Aleutian Island chain up by Alaska, because it was right on their way.
Yeah, I mean the flight routes, that alone, if that doesn't wake you up, I don't know if I can help you.
Yeah, there was a great video I saw. I was looking for it, but it was from this lady was doing a painting, and she was on maybe like the 40th floor of a high rise, an apartment. And it showed, because she's so high up, a time lapse of just her painting. And the sun just got smaller and smaller, but it didn't go down. It just was going away. And that's what you could really see, was the sun's not going down, it's going away. But you could see it over the time lapse, and being so high above, it was a great video to show. No, it's not going down. It's just your perspective. Your horizon's lower. Up there, you can really see it over time. It's moving away from where this person is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is my sun fade out. The sun went down, down, down. Now there's the spinning. It should keep on going, but it stopped. It literally stopped. My friends at the beach over here, they saw the sun set 10 minutes ago from the bottom up. I'm still looking at it from my drone. And it's not going beyond, because it was a super clear day, super clear, dry and cold. And so it got to the point where it just couldn't push through the atmosphere anymore, and it went away and took its light with it.
Mhm.
Here's something new. Let's talk about this. The sunset times worldwide. So you guys are all in the Northern Hemisphere, right? You're all in America. When does the light linger after sunset the longest?
Right before dusk.
What time of year is it longer after sunset?
Oh, winter.
No,
Usually.
come on. In the
summer.
in the summer, in July, June and July, here in Connecticut, the sun will set and it'll be light for 90 minutes to 2 hours. It'll be light, before it gets pitch black. So in the winter in Connecticut, when the sun sets, it's dark in 20 minutes. It's really dark. So everywhere you are on Earth, the land conditions, your latitude, your altitude, determine your length of day. But comparing your sunset time to blackness, that should get shorter and shorter towards your winter and longer towards your summer. That's what we experience here in the north. So Connecticut's at, I think, 32 degrees north, I think. So 32 degrees north in June has 90 minutes of light after sunset. So 32 degrees south in December, the opposite, on a globe should have the same amount of time between sunset and darkness. With me?
Yep.
But it doesn't. The ball requires it to have symmetry. But what we found out is everywhere on Earth for the last 6 months, their sunset times have been getting shorter. Time from sunset to darkness, right? Your personal time for your place has been getting shorter and shorter for people in Australia, people in Connecticut, people in Alaska. And now that it's after December 21st, it's getting longer for everybody. If you go out tomorrow night and, all right, sunset, and set your timer and wait until it's dark and get the time, and then do it every week, let's say, or a couple days, you'll notice that it's getting longer and longer. That's impossible on a globe. That only works on a flat Earth. Why does it work on a flat Earth? Because the sun, when it's out here going around the Tropic of Cancer, it goes faster. It's going faster because this circle, the Tropic of Cancer in December, is bigger than this circle, the Tropic of Capricorn, I'm sorry. The Tropic of Cancer, it's moving slower. So as it goes away, it's going slower in June. So everybody has lingering light longer. And then in December, everyone in the world has a faster sun moving away. This is impossible. This is another death blow to the already dead globe.
Nice.
Problem. This is the problem. You have to stop. You have to think. You have to fire up those neurons, right? Most people's brains only know how to memorize, regurgitate, and they can't understand simple concepts like this. It's amazing how many people cannot grasp this. But if you're, married to the globe and attached to that prison, you're not going to understand it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize when you go back to the ancient Greeks, you go back to ancient Romans, like the idea of a globe Earth. This didn't start until about 1600, where the idea of it came. Now they were talking about the firmament and things like that, and if you're looking at the firmament being, half a ball, then they're probably thinking, well, the whole thing might be encased in something. But the idea that it's a globe, as far as without a firmament or anything, that really came around in 1600 when God, I can't think of the guy's name.
Basically, anything before 1925 is off the table for me, because if you weren't there, you don't know somebody that was there. I think it's all bullshit. I mean, an archaeologist discovered an ancient tablet with the Pythagorean theorem on it that is dated 1,000 years before Pythagoras ever existed. So they're lying about everything. And Eratosthenes, he's the Michael Jordan of math. He figured out the shape of the Earth 2,000 years ago, and nobody put it in a book until the 1900s.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how that works.
Yeah. That's how it works. Like the example that I always use is you're writing a history of the Chicago Bulls and you just leave out Michael Jordan. You know what? Screw him. Screw him.
Yeah. More of a Pippen team, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Him and Charles Oakley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Dave, how'd you get started with all this? Like, where did you really, where was, where it began?
I was in, I always kind of question things, but, I went along with most stuff, and I was working in corporate America, and my buddy Tim and I, we'd just be talking stuff in the lunchroom, and we were talking about, we were questioning what money was, and we knew the IRS was a bunch of nonsense, and so we'd be talking about the stuff, and people were listening, and literally, there'd be like a crowd of people waiting for us in the lunchroom every day, like, oh, Dave and Tim are here. What do you guys got today? What conspiracies, right? Conspiracies was like cool, and then one day Tim goes to me, he goes, hey, Dave, my friend Mike's a comedian in New York at Stand Up New York Comedy Club, and they're opening up a podcast studio, and we've got an idea for a podcast. And I said, what the hell's a podcast? And he goes, it's a radio show that's recorded. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And it was basically two truth seekers and a guy that tries to turn everything into a fart joke. And we went into all the conspiracies, 9/11 and Boston and, all the other ones that I don't even want to say because I might want to put this on YouTube. And it was amazing. And then in the third year, people started to say, hey, Dave, if you looked into flat Earth, first I'm like, oh, that's funny. And then they kept coming. And I'm like, get the hell out of here. And then I came up with the term banned for life. Oh, you want me to watch a flat Earth video? You're banned for life. Matter of fact, not only can you not comment, I don't want you to listen to the podcast anymore. You're too stupid. You go back to school. That was my attitude because flat Earth is the dumbest crap ever. Then Sophia Smallstorm, I was talking to her one day. We were talking about some fake Bang Bang event. And she goes, oh, Dave, I said, the deception in this world is so bad. It's so incredible. And she goes, oh, Dave, it's worse than that. I think the Earth might be flat. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Literally, while I was talking to her, I was banning people on Facebook for mentioning flat Earth. And she sent me Mark Sargent's clues and some other things. And I went in with the attitude, I'm just going to disprove this. This is nonsense. This is stupid. Right? That's not how you investigate things. You say, let me take a look with an open mind. I said, no, I'm going to destroy this. And most of us have the same story. We went in to prove it wrong. And here we are,
That's awesome. But it shows you just that, even our initial reactions were just, you're out of your mind, because we're always taught, the Earth's flat, you're going to fall at the end of the Earth, like it's a cube or something,
right.
It was always
or whatever. Yeah. It's the fact that they made it so we don't even want to look at it. That's amazing. Hats off to the controllers. They did a great job. They did a great job to bring everyone into their.
That one they nailed.
Yeah, they did such a great job. And then everyone's like, oh, whoa, why are all the other planets round? Oh, are we the only flat pancake? That again, you got a straw man to glurf. That's what I say. And it's amazing. It's amazing. People say, oh, you're doing it for the money. You're in it for the money. I had a great job. I did what I call it the American dream. I went to college. I went into corporate America. I came to the top at my company, every company I went to. I was only with a couple companies. And then I left and I started my own company and I was doing extremely well. It was awesome. Making more money than I ever thought. I was like, this is fantastic. And then the podcasting kind of was causing some waves, because we're dealing with people that I'm attacking, like some law firms that are representing our clients. I'm going after them for fraud. And I realized that actually I didn't realize that my partner, he goes, you're never going to give this flat earth thing up. You're never going to give it up. He goes, and we can't have this. And I said, you know what, you're right. And I left. I got out and I walked away because you know what? I asked God for a sign. I got 3 signs, right? I went home that day and I had launched the app recently, and I had to go pay some bills, you know, phone bill and stuff. And literally the money that had just come in from Apple covered my bills to the dollar, right? And I was like, can I have another sign? Can I have another sign? I was like, I'm thinking of leaving this company. Like, you know, not everyone gets to start their own company. I'm thinking of walking away from the whole thing, right? I said, can I have another sign? Thank God my father had passed away already, because he would have just fucking killed me, right? You're like, what are you out of your mind? And I go into work the next day, and my partner goes, you know, we were in the commercial solar power business. We're developers, and he goes, oh, we're doing a residential job. And I hate residential jobs. You got to deal with the friggin' husband and the wife, and it's all this extra work, and it's tiny, and you make 1/10, 1/100th of what you make on a commercial job. And I'm like, why? He goes, I go, who? And he goes, the Clintons.
Ugh.
The Clintons. And I'm like, and I look up at the ceiling and I'm like, can I have one more sign? Can I just give me one more? Just one more for confirmation.
Doesn't have to be that big.
Just one more. And literally the next thing I hear, it was either, I forget if it was right there or hours later or the next morning. He goes, oh, we have a lot of large commercial buildings where we have solar systems, and we have easements to get out. We have control of their roof. He goes, all the buildings we have easements on, we're partnering up with a 5G company, and we're putting 5G antennas on all those buildings. And so then I walk out. I'm walking to the car, going, "Am I really going to do this?" And Owen Benjamin calls me, and I'm talking to Owen, and I go, "I'm thinking of leaving," and he goes, "Just do it." I go, "But I'm not sure." He goes, "Just do it." He goes, "It'll all work out." He goes, "Just do it," and that was the last straw, right there.
No way. Wow. What year was that?
That was right when COVID started, 2020.
2020.
2020. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe 2019, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Perfect timing. Because wow.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. It really is.
Yeah. When I went into the office, there was all hand sanitizer and all of his stuff. all of his stuff. I'm just like, okay, get me the fuck out. Oops. Well, let's say that.
So you're a big fan of Steal the Bike Tyson, huh?
Oh,
as
yeah.
Owen would say.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I wanted to show I'm just going to show this one picture that I found on it was just on Twitter. It's by, an account that talks about the SR-71 Blackbird. And I believe it's this lady who's, I think her father was one of the original pilots and flew it from like 65 to 71 or something. So she puts all this together, and there are some pictures from inside the Blackbird. It's not many. And the one thing about the SR-71 Blackbird is their windows were flat. So, you get a look at it and you're just like, well, and there really aren't a lot of pictures from inside. I think there's only one pilot who was ever allowed to take pictures. And you can see over on the right here, it says, looking forward in an SR-71 at Mach 3 plus, 80,000 feet in a 30-degree banked right turn. So you can look out, and obviously this plane is turning, to the right, and you can just look up, and that whole line is flat. Now you can only see it on the right windows, but it's obviously turning to the right.
Yep.
So that is not curving anywhere, and that's at 80,000 feet.
Think about this: at 39,000 feet, your globe horizon is 242 miles away. Okay. If you're standing on the ground and you want to see a building that's 242 miles away, that building needs to be another 39,000 feet high, because there's 39,000 feet of drop, right? So in an airplane at 39,000 feet, you have 78,000 foot drop to your horizon, according to the globe. So you're at an airplane, 39,000 feet. There's 78,000 foot drop, but you can look out the left window. There's the horizon. Look out your right, draw an imaginary line. It goes right in front of your eyes. And that's 78,000 feet below you. 78,000 feet. Anybody? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. There's so much.
The Blackbird has to drop 80 stories a second to follow the curve. 80 stories a second.
Man,
Talk about your stomach being in your throat the whole time.
Talk about your body being slammed against the ceiling.
yeah,
I mean,
just all negative G's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, gravity just makes you think you're going straight.
Mhm.
Gravity.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
even
pulling you. Yeah.
Even at 3,000 feet with the tail down on a C-130 looking out the back, you can tell you can see a horizon for way out there. It's not even no joke. So,
Man.
And one thing, I've talked about for a while is, the Earth rotates, like this, around the sun. It's always like this. Then it rotates in the same direction, or, for day and night. It never rotates vertically. So, like on the globe model you have behind you, if it's never rotating vertically, if you're in the northern hemisphere, let's say you're up where, I am, Massachusetts, how can you see the same star systems as somebody in Sydney, Australia, which is on the bottom? You'd be looking at different star systems because your point of view, your angle is going to be up. Theirs is going to be down. So if you're, let's just say this, I'm up here, I'm going to be looking this way into the sky. They're going to be down here looking at star systems down there. They couldn't look at the same star systems with if it's a flat Earth, you can see the same star systems because they're all going to be moving around above the same things. But if you're on a globe, it doesn't make any sense because the Earth does not rotate vertically. It only rotates, horizontally. Oh, Dave, you're muted.
This is the Go Fast rocket. It went up 72 miles, 73 miles, and then it hit like plasma. I think it hit this plasma ether field or whatever you want to call it. And it floated kind of weird. It was uninterrupted view, unlike NASA and SpaceX. Edit. And look, there's the moon. There's the moon. There's the flat Earth. But there's the moon. You can argue that, well, you can't see the curve, right? So there's the moon. That's interesting. Well, where was this taken? So it was 11 a.m. It was in Arizona. Here's the sun at noon. And here's the moon over Australia. So if the Earth was a basketball, and that rocket was on top of the basketball, it went a fraction of a millimeter over the basketball, and the moon was on the floor below the basketball. How'd they see it?
Right.
How'd they see it?
You couldn't see it.
Yeah.
The setup to that is hilarious.
Yeah.
How?
God, this is just.
How are you going to see that one? Yep. Wow.
Yeah. How about this? You're flying in an airplane north to south. This is what you'd be doing. You'd be going 1,000 miles an hour when you're here, 500 miles an hour when you're here sideways. 0, you'd be pirouetting here, right? So you're speeding up, slowing down with your sideways motion. Your forward motion, which is doing a figure 8 in reality, is, you're 600 miles an hour or whatever, right? How friggin' retarded is that?
Yeah.
People believe that airplanes can fly around like that. But here's the problem. When we look at this, if you're flying on top of the Earth, you're always on the top, right? You're diving over the Earth. The star field is going to rise, right? The star field is going to rise because you're diving over, and those stars are now in front of you, above you, right? Those stars there become above you. This is what you would see on a ball. Let's look at it in reality. In reality, here's a plane going from I think it was Beirut to Brazil, going 4,000 miles over the globe, and none of the stars are rising. This is a super fast time lapse. None of them are rising. This is what Google Earth says you should see. right? This is what common sense tells you. This is what is required to say. You can't say refraction. You can't say anything, right? Now, the Globers say, well, you're going with the spin of the Earth and it's negating it. Well, then how come on the way back, the stars don't go twice as fast, right? If you're driving next to a car that's going the same speed, all right, you're negating its apparent motion, but go the other way, right? And that they filmed it in both directions, and there's no rising at all.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I had I think it was I forget what airline. A bunch of major pilots that are flat earthers have been, giving me information. One of them was flying from, I think it was Texas to New Zealand, and he said his entire shift he saw the Southern Cross sitting on the horizon the whole time. It never got higher. It just sat there. That's impossible.
Right. Yeah.
Impossible.
Well, and you look at it, so if this is a globe, right, this is a ball, an orb, and the water is sticking to it no matter what side it's on, up, down, sideways. Well, if you take just a basketball, you take a bowling ball, if you take, a Nerf ball and dunk it in, a bucket of water and bring it out, well, the same forces are acting on those balls that you're dunking in that water as are acting on Earth. So why doesn't the water stick to those? Because there's no different. Well, let's say you take a basketball, right? You dunk it in a bucket of water. So when you bring the basketball out, the water should stick to that ball.
Well, I'm gonna take the Glober side on this one first.
Yeah,
you're stupid flurf if you think a basketball has enough mass to have gravity. But then the other thing they say, if you look at just the wetness of the ball, the thickness of that skin of water on there, it's probably deeper than the ocean in scale. So there's your water, right? That's what they're gonna say. So that's what they say. When they pour water on a ball and say it doesn't stick, I'm on the Glober side on that one. Yeah, it doesn't stick. You have to pour water on a ball the size of the globe to make it stick.
Right, but it's still the same gravity. The same forces are working on it.
Yeah, but you have to have gravity inside your ball to make the one inside the basketball, but we don't have that. It falls off because the gravity of the Earth is pulling it off. It's a bad example. And a lot of people use it. I'm not using it.
Yeah.
No offense. It's okay.
Oh, no. Hey, that's fine. Hey, you got to learn things every day.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, when you look at storm systems like hurricanes, I mean, if it's spinning 1,040 miles an hour and they're like, it's moving, northwest at 15 miles an hour, it's like the storm or hurricane isn't on the spinning ball. So one's got to be moving and one's not moving. If the storm's not moving, then you're telling us it's moving.
Well, they've had some major hurricanes hit. One of them that hit Florida was 400 miles wide, and 400 miles. How much curvature? You know how much curvature is in 400 miles? It's ridiculous. It's like
it's 11.2 miles.
It's how much?
11.2 because 200 miles is 5.06.
No, so it's not. It doesn't double. It's exponential. It's way more than that. It's way more than that. It's
8 inches squared, right? So
8 inches per mile squared. So 400 times 400 times 8 divided by 12, right?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
go real quick. So we go 400 times 400 times 8 divided by 12 equals 10,666 feet. 10,000. So 2 miles. Is that right?
20 miles.
Yeah.
Yes. So the curvature, but here's so we see that. So that doesn't make any sense to me. But here's everyone's talking about the greatest picture from NASA. This hurricane, this one is 400 miles wide. So I'm measuring the hurricane, 400 miles wide. 400 miles wide. Let's take the same size ball and put it on a picture that NASA shows. Look, the United States it's just over 400 miles wide. Okay. Let's look at another. Let's look at another picture. Wait a minute. Here is Here's another picture of the United States. Let me just make it so you can see it. It's like 300 miles wide now. Right?
Try that in the afternoon.
Yeah. Whenever they show you a curve, put it on a ball, continue that curve around and look at it and see how much that hurricane has taken up a quarter of the world.
Hmm.
And it's only 400 miles wide. Stupid, right? They call us cult members. You know, Dave Weiss, you're a cult leader. You're dangerous. You're dangerous. This is what they want us to think a cult leader looks like. You want to see what a cult leader really looks like? This is a cult leader right here.
Yeah,
This is what a cult leader really looks like.
Yeah.
God.
100%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It
And
is.
they're always on the run. You know, Neil deGrasse Tyson just put out a video talking about, with his co-host guy. It's like, oh, Neil, you're awesome. Everything you say is amazing. He's like, these rockets, the engines, the fuel. He's like 98% of that fuel is not to get it up away from Earth. It's to get it downrange. 98, like almost all the fuel. And the guy's like, really? He's like, yes, we got to get it downrange to get it faster, right? Because we show the rocket paths, they're all crashing into the Bermuda Triangle.
Right. Well, in every arc from every rocket or missile, it's always going up, but it's always on an arc. It's never going. And if you're going to go up to space, you go up. You don't go. We're going to just go, to the right. And
I was quite
downrange.
amused I was quite amused about Tyson's explanation of how this extra point kicker was assisted by the spin of the Earth by some fractions of an inch.
He did a calculation. What's that calculation, Neil? Show us the calculation.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to know that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And now they're talking about going back to the moon. Now they're like, oh, well, the rocket, I don't think has enough fuel to go. It's like, you sure put a lot of faith back there in '69, didn't you? God.
Yeah, there you go. All going up and on a list.
By the way, on my app, let me bring that back. If you're ever like talking to somebody and they're like, oh, what about rocket pass or whatever, just go to the images button and you can just search whatever you want. I'll say rocket path. Oh, it's going to show up. I have very slow internet here, but there's rocket pass. There's one. So you can show, and they go right there into the Bermuda Triangle. And then you can share the picture with them. You can send it to them. Here's the one I just showed. So all of the images, you can find them like that.
Right.
And if you want to share, I could select up to 5 images, 1, 2, 3. I'll select those and then say, hit the share button, and I can send it however I want.
And Dave, what's the name of your app so people can?
It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. But just go to flatearthdave.com and click the banner there. It's the best way because there's already a knockoff one that some disgusting globe trolls made. That's horrible, but they took the same name. So if you accidentally buy it, make sure you leave them a proper review. But the app is it's going kind of crazy. Did I show the map before? I think I did.
All the flat earther pins.
Yeah. It's super fun. People are meeting people. People are getting married. Babies have happened because of this already. So these are the people that have the app right here on the east side of America. Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Looks like it's catching on.
Oh yeah.
Good.
2024.
About time.
We even have one guy.
Think of all the governments that had to coordinate this to do it all. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, now
Even in Antarctica, that's great.
that's it. I mean, what if that's a keystone? If we think about it, all these factions, all these countries fighting, but the Antarctic Treaty, oh no. We all have to play kumbaya and say, well, if you could do that for that, why can't you do that for everything else?
Right.
What are you hiding here?
Have you guys seen when you try to measure Antarctica?
No.
So we're not allowed to physically go to Antarctica or virtually. So I'm drawing a line here around South America, and it'll show you the actual the actual square mileage. Now, if we do it around Antarctica, watch what happens. What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
Huh.
And now watch. We'll go up to the north and we'll try it up there. Let's see. So what else want I do here? So I'll do the North Pole, and for some crazy reason, it does the same thing. What are they hiding?
Yeah.
No pictures, can't measure it, can't go there. Right?
And
I'll
now
measure Greenland and it works perfectly, no problem.
Is it because their flat digitized map was wrapped around a sphere ball digitally?
Right, and it can't explain what's
And
at the pole. Right,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. And then you guys seen this video of allegedly the North Pole, and it's like this vortex. But what's this right here? It looks like the top of a mountain. They call it the Rupus Nigra, or the Black Rock. Right, the Black Rock. Who owns the world? Black Rock.
Yep.
Right. It's pretty crazy.
And they even said it's 33 miles in diameter.
Oh, really? Did not know that. And
We dug into that. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And then you look at the whole Rupus Nigra, and you go back to these other maps, and like that one, I mean, Admiral Byrd bullshitting. I mean, something happened. He flew into inner Earth, and that's why everybody's like looking up for heaven. It's like, what if it's below us? I mean, all those maps, they show the globe, and it's like, oh, here's the core, like, like 1,000,000 degrees, right? And then they start going out, but we've only drilled 8 miles down. So when they show you that map, it's like a plan view of a three-dimensional realm. So it's like, are they right by showing that in science books? Yeah. But then when they put out the globe, they totally, blow their wad. It's like every ring, inside every ring are the continents. And then on the outer ring, like that Nazcan funded map, it's like, that's the big one. I mean, when we found that map, oh my God, we have the tapestry across the whole world.
Yeah.
You want to be able to.
It's amazing. Now, here's the thing. Are we making any solid claims? Is that real? We don't know. It's a definite possibility. But if you want to believe in outer space and aliens coming from other planets to a scientifically impossible space vacuum at ridiculous, impossible distances that you have to fold space and time and warp, nonsense, versus other ponds across the plane inside an enclosed system, that is physically possible. So, if you want to talk about aliens, I want to talk about I want to talk about this. This makes sense. Right, I've been trying to get Richard Dolan to have this conversation. The guy's waiting for disclosure, but disclosure is 1,000,000 years away in his world. I say disclosure is already here. I think that extraterrestrials come here, have lunch, and go back home to see their kids for dinner. Okay, I mean, it's that close. It's ridiculous. Here's an old encyclopedia somebody found, and if we look in it this a little bit. Copyright 1954, 1955. And what does it say? It says in this area right here, it says they went around, it says the trip took 22 days. They went around all around Antarctica, 22 days, right? So from here to here is 2,000 miles. Is that what it says? 2,000 miles. Yeah, 2,000 miles. All right. So here are all of the bases that we allegedly have. I think we do have them. Works perfectly on a flat Earth. They're all on the shoreline in different areas around Antarctica. Now, are these all connected? Is the ice wall go all the way around? I don't know. Maybe there's big openings. I don't know. But they flew it. They went this way. They said they stopped 4 times. Stop 1, stop 2, stop 3, stop 4. Took 22 days. That makes a lot of sense to me. The expedition made extensive flights covering all of the Antarctic coasts, right? Let's go a little farther. So this is what it looks like, right? They started here, and then we come out, and they went over. This was their second location right there, that pin. And then they went over to what's called Little America over here. And then they went over to the South Pole, allegedly, just a spot inland. And then they went back. What does that look like? What does that look like? It looks like this, right? These are the 4 spots. Whoops, let me go back here. That's all they did. And that's supposedly going all the way, that on the globe, it makes absolutely no sense. They went literally here. Okay. This is Antarctica. This is all they did. That's all they did. And they want you to think, yeah. This is huge, by the way. That's a huge area. It's crazy, right? So if this is Antarctica, they've literally cut it out, right? Cut it out, wrapped it around a globe, and said, "This is where you live. This is the prison for your mind." Right? You're not allowed to go to this white area. No, can't go there. There's pristine ice and penguins. You can't go there, and that's how they've imprisoned us. It's very simple. Very crazy, right?
No, it is. And, the Antarctic Treaty, we can't agree with other countries just on what side of the road to drive on, but we can all agree on this. Doesn't matter what wars we're going into.
We can agree on 2 things. What are the 2 things that all of the countries in the world agree upon? You can't go to Antarctica and the North Pole. That's one. And everybody needs to get this thing stuck in their arm.
Yep.
They all agree on that. No problem.
Yep.
Just kill us off.
Yep. That's unreal. Man.
I mean, even think about the globe now. It's like it actually hurts your brain.
It does. It gets me mad sometimes. Sometimes I get so fired up. I'm like, I just want to wring your neck. Like, come on, people. Because, the globe is their system, their lie, right? Their world that we are voluntarily putting ourselves on. So we're putting ourselves in their globe prison. And if we're playing on their game board with their monopoly money, we have to abide by their rules. That's it. He who creates it owns it. So when you're playing by their rules, they've got control over you. Unplug from the matrix, we all have, and we're making our own rules. And I don't think that they can touch us. I think that they need us to agree. Once we unplug, they no longer control us. It's literally the matrix. When you unplug from the matrix, they've lost you.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember reading years ago, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And I was looking at, because I flew to Hong Kong. So you kind of go over, near the North Pole. You're not going directly over, you're kind of going to the side of it. So I looked up, all these flights are flying, not directly over the North Pole, but they're flying, adjacent to it. But there's no flights. And I was like, oh, aren't flights flying over the South Pole? Because it makes sense if you're going from, let's say, New Zealand to South America, make more sense to fly over the South Pole. And I looked this up and I'm like, there's been only one recorded flight that ever flew over the South Pole. And it was, I think, in 1960 by NASA. I'm like, one? That's it? One? I'm like, something's wrong here.
By NASA. Yeah. By the liars at NASA.
Yeah, just one and by NASA. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, it just doesn't make any physical sense from, why wouldn't militaries be using that, at least, if they would by
the people at NASA that when they get fresh fruit, they play with it. You see this lemon? Look at the lemon. For those of you that haven't seen this, I've been showing this a lot lately, but I'm going to show it again. God. It's augmented reality. Look at it. It's not real. It's not real. Now, if this lemon isn't real, you know what else isn't real? Everything NASA does. Everything. Look.
Finger go through the.
It's just
all CGI, isn't it?
It's all CGI. It's augmented reality, and they screwed up. They got the layering screwed up. Look at that hand, too. It looks like a claw.
Yeah. I was just thinking that. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of fingers there.
Yeah.
That's some distance.
I mean, we can spend hours just going over all the nonsense on NASA, but honestly, that's a break in the chain. Chain's broken. It's over.
Mhm.
The other thing is, why are we even talking about space when it's scientifically impossible? So therefore, anything that allegedly comes from space is disqualified.
Right.
Especially moon rocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that was woo.
And your decode, your breakdown of Boston, I won't get into names, but that was incredible because that's where
You
I
watch
grew
that?
up. Oh, it was phenomenal because I saw all of it, and obviously I grew up just outside of Boston, so I'm sitting there, and I'm just watching it, and nothing made sense, and I'm watching you, and I don't know who you broke that down with. I'm like,
PK from
yeah,
Australia.
okay, yeah, that was
that
great.
He put all that together. I just helped him organize it, and it's Boston is unbelievable. You know how during the Boston Marathon, you know that they made an announcement that they're having a bombing drill at the finish line. You know that? They announced it. You could hear it in the crowd. There's recordings of them. They're doing a bombing drill, right? Just like at everything else on all those other big events, New York, Connecticut, the Beachy School, they were doing drills for the exact same thing. Now, people say that's revelation of the method. I used to say that they have to tell us, but now I'm going to say it differently. They need to tell us because we are all prophets of the creator and our thoughts create our reality. So they're trying to control our thoughts to get us to think these things into existence. And then the demons, whatever they are, they're like, hey, your prophets are thinking it, therefore we can pull it off. And that's how they get away with this stuff. So, think of
well, the London bombings, the subway bombings, they said, oh, we're doing a drill in the subways. And then that day,
at the exact same locations, every place is doing a drill. On 9/11, there was over a dozen simulations of planes being hijacked and crashed into buildings on that morning. And nobody gives a crap. Nobody gives a crap. It's amazing how dumbed down this world is. That they admitted last year, that the CIA killed Kennedy. Where's the revolution? Where's the revolution? Where is the call for the shutting down of the CIA and the imprisonment of everybody that works there? Where is it? Nothing. No, everyone's so fluoridated and venated that they're lost in space.
Hey, Dave,
Yeah,
I have a. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I have a question for you. Have you ever considered on trying to calculate like rivers, like the Mississippi River starts off at 1,400 above sea level, Lake Itasca, Minnesota, right? But it's over 2,300 miles long. That doesn't equate on a ball to me. On their how fast that thing would be flowing fast.
Yeah, the amount of curve. I mean, the argument that the Globers give you is it doesn't matter. It's elevation above sea level. So at the beginning of the river, if it's, I don't know what it is, if it's 1,000 feet.
It's 1,400. Yeah, it's 1,400 feet at the beginning point of the Mississippi.
Yeah, and so at the mouth, it's at sea level. So 1,400 feet over that amount of distance, you only calculate the drop in altitude to sea level. You don't calculate the curve because gravity's curved, man. Everything is pulled. So curved is level. Just remember that. Curved is level.
But sea level's level.
Sea level's level. Yeah. Well.
Oh my God.
It warps my brain. I just didn't know if you've ever worked that one out or had to deal with that one.
I did, but
curious.
But the argument against it is just so stupid. It's ridiculous. The Suez Canal was built with a straight datum line, right? 100 miles. It should be over a mile, 6,600 feet of curvature, more. And there's nothing.
And the bridge out to Key West, the bridges that go out to Key West aren't all that much inclined, declined, and they're pretty flat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, how does the Nile River flow? Yeah, how do rivers flow up towards the equator? How does it flow that way? That's right. Strange.
So the higher up you are, the farther you can see. So the farther you can see, the lower the horizon should be. right? Because it's dropping away. Wherever you are, the higher you are, the farther you can see, the lower the horizon. Now, here is a drone on the ground. We mark the horizon here. Move this. And as the drone goes up, the horizon should drop. But as the drone goes up, you're going to see something very interesting. Give it a second here. Let me just jump forward. And as we go up, if you look carefully, the horizon goes beyond, above. We can see more. It should be dropping. It should be going down lower.
Right.
So as you go up, you can see farther. And this is all has to do with, this is a very clear day, very clear air. And you can just see farther and farther and farther. Remember, this horizon line right here is thousands of feet above your eye level. Remember, those clouds are merging into it. So, if the clouds are, let's say, 10,000 feet and the water is 0, 10,000 feet is compressed into a line. It's all compressed into a line. Think it's hard to wrap your mind how that happens, but it's all that information is compressed into a line, and anything that goes beyond it just goes beyond it. Crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like sea level is the same no matter what country you're in. It's just sea level.
Yeah.
That never changes.
Level.
Sea level in Hong Kong is the same as sea level in Boston. It never changes.
Yeah. Have you guys seen this? This is a spacewalk. I'm seeing pretty flat Earth here, but is this CGI? Look at this strap. Look what's going on here. Look at the strap.
Oh,
It goes behind. Watch. Oops. Where's it going?
Wow.
It's a portal.
Yeah.
It disappears in a vacuum.
It just, well, it's going through multiple layers. And then when this guy comes out, his feet, his feet go, watch his feet carefully. Look, they're getting cut off. Right. And people just don't notice these things. Right. And then this is one other thing. This was wasn't on an official NASA channel, but somebody was showing ISS footage. What's this line? This straight line went over 5,000 miles. Look, the clouds are spiked. What is going on here? Right? 5,000 miles?
Photoshop.
Where's the curvature?
Photoshopping.
Yeah. Well, what is this? What the heck is going on here? Crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah. And how would they explain this way? Oh, it's a video feed problem, or it's always that. Yeah.
Cosmic
Not the
ray.
fact that they're using a green screen and oops, it kind of
it's an oil pipeline that's disturbing your view. That's what it is. That's why we got to quit using oil, because those oil pipelines disturb all these photos.
Man. No, that's amazing. The work you've done, Dave. It's just incredible. It's
with the
and
help
made
of
it entertaining and so many different aspects.
How could it not be entertaining? It's hysterical. It's so stupid.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's the ultimate goal. I mean, because there's nothing that they can actually show. They just show NASA stuff. It's like, well, in the NASA documents we have, it says it's a flat, non-rotating Earth. So who's
Right.
It's not like a one ton of them. So
Well, it's just like all the old military documents. They always say that they go by the flat Earth concept.
Yeah.
Right.
Field artillery manuals, everything.
Yeah, here are all the astronauts floating in space, but when you're like leaning at an angle, your head always tries to go upright to gravity. Why are all their heads tilted? Why when there's in space, your head should be perfectly in line with your spine in space.
Right.
How would you even know which way is up? And your head is trying to go up? Makes no sense. It makes no sense. How about this one?
Oh.
Ready? Whoops, what do we got here? Turn that one off. Hold on a second. And transition. Okay. So this is, let me move that, size that a little bit. So this is Christmas. Christmas 1999 with gravity on. Look at their hats. And then this is Christmas 2023
Yeah.
with their hats up because there's no gravity, right?
Dave, you can go back to that last picture, right? Wouldn't
It's
his
fun.
beard be going up as well?
Well, no, it's very wiry. His
Yeah,
beard
yeah.
is very,
Yeah, it's made out of
It's very coarse. It's a very coarse.
The other thing is in space, think about women in the military, a jet fighter pilot woman. They let her have long hair. They think they buzz that crap right off, right?
Mhm.
Long hair in space. I mean, know what that would lead to? Vomiting, because you'd be inhaling the hair and the hair in my throat, and then somebody vomits, and then it's going to cause a complete and total barfarama because everyone's going to be inhaling vomit because it's all going to be floating everywhere, right? You want to see a funny video? Go to my channel or go on the app and search. I have to go to the bathroom, right? I have to go to the bathroom. Okay, and
I need my vacuum.
yeah, and it's not on there for some reason. But you find it on my DITRH channel, and it's the funniest thing ever. It's literally a walkthrough of the ISS bathroom. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Oh.
The guys talk about you have to the toilet is this little square, right? Little square, and you open it up, and you have to put a line of bag in it, and put the line just like a garbage can. He goes, then you poop in the bag in zero gravity. I'd like to see somebody use this toilet with gravity helping them. Okay. And so hopefully you have a nice solid poop and not a liquidy, watery one that maybe because your bile in your stomach is floating all over the place. I don't know if anybody would ever have a regular crap. Yeah. And then they have a stick. It's literally like a hockey stick that you push it down. Okay. It's a poop pusher stick. And then you pull the thing off and pull the string on the bag, and then you push it down, and when there's a whole bunch of poops in there, and then they drop it out into space. It's so crazy. And then they're like, think about how do you clean this, right? Imagine, and up there they're having pizza night, they're having taco night, right? Well, how do you digest in space with all your stomach acids floating all over the place? So I'm guessing eventually, maybe every day, someone's going to have explosive diarrhea, right? Mm-hmm. It's over. That's the disaster. Everyone on the space station dies. Someone has explosive diarrhea. It's over. Everyone's dead. Mm-hmm. There's no way out. Okay.
I'll think of all the electrical shorts and all that and everything. And
Good.
But when you think of it, how does everything move through your body? It moves from north to south because gravity or whatever is pushing it down, keeps going down, and that's how it gets out. If you're in zero gravity, it's just going to sit there in the middle. It's not going to be able to move through your body.
I want to show you one thing.
A hell of a lot of Pepto-Bismol and Tums.
Oh man!
Dave, if you have a video you want us to bring up, we can bring it up for you, or you can share the screen. You can do anything you want.
You want me to pull up that video?
Oh, you can. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm loving this, Dave. Oh my gosh.
Let me just say. See, I have to go to the bathroom.
We'll be passed out shit sticks.
Don't forget your poop pusher.
It's just so bad. It's so bad. And my channel DITRH, a lot of short videos for those if you're looking for stuff to send your friends or you're new to this. Just they're good stuff. A lot of people wake up from this. So I'm still looking. Oh wait, I'm getting close. Oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Wow, I made a lot of videos.
Fucking poop stick.
Poop stick.
Oh my god, the poop stick is. And then like, how do you clean the poop stick? Right?
Was that did they get the idea from like shuffleboard or something? I mean,
how do you actually keep a poop in a bag though? It would float out.
I mean, then you have to have somebody behind you, like, with the turd cutter. You gotta cut it. You gotta make sure
Right?
Okay.
You got to be holding on
Um,
because I mean, when you're pitching a loaf, it's like you're using all your
Ate
popping your.
a poop barber.
it's called the ISS bathroom proof splatter. Hold on, I found it. So history. And can I play? I can play with sound, right?
Yeah.
So I have to pause, and now I go to
The screen, and then I'll say like share audio.
yeah.
I found that a couple weeks ago. It's awesome.
So I go to share. Oh, this is Zoom, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So my window is when is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. And it says share with sound. All right, here we go. Oh, it's asking me for a password. Enter Zoom password to allow this. You guys have to allow sharing, maybe.
Yeah. That's it. Should be able to. Let's see. I just what the hell? Can't share it. Oh shit.
I'll put it in the.
There you go.
Oh, I'm sharing. I'm sharing.
Yep, there it is.
Oh, nice.
All right. Can you hear it? No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right. Well, it should have sound. I'm going to stop sharing and try again. Share. Make sure I checked with sound. Share with sound. And there it is. No sound?
No, not yet. Check. Maybe it's the sound on. Oh, there it is. There's that.
How about you guys share it? I'll just give you the URL.
Yeah.
Okay. Here it is. I'll put it in the chat,
Oh,
and it's pretty funny.
I gotcha. I see.
Where's the chat in here? Whiteboard notes. That's not it.
Shit.
Chat. There's a chat. There, I got it. Got it. Boom, boom. There you go. Now you play it. Don't forget to share sound.
And boom. Okay.
There's sound?
No sound yet.
Oh, maybe there's no sound at the beginning. Maybe I had it right.
By far, the most common question
There it
we
is.
get asked as astronauts is how do you go to the bathroom in space? So, let's take a peek at the process. This compartment is called the WHC, a NASA acronym for Waste and Hygiene Compartment, I think. We just know it as WHC. It's inside this we call the stall, which is a couple of walls and a door that give you some privacy because you're right in the middle of node 3 with the treadmill on one side of the toilet, the weight machine we call ARED on the other side, and down in the floor our awesome window called the cupola. And this is a high traffic area, people are coming and going, so you need the privacy. First of all, the desire to go, the need to go is very similar as on Earth, where you just know you have to go. It doesn't feel any different because the fluid might be floating in your bladder or something. No, that's it. It's just the exact same sensation. You know you got to go. Either one, number 1 or number 2. So you've decided that. You float into the WHC. And we have the toilet,
Look at this little toilet.
which consists of a seat and a metal bucket we call a keteo.
And meanwhile, everyone in the
which
space
is a
station
Russian
uses this
acronym
toilet. He's going to put his
for
hands all
something,
over it.
Container of something. And but it holds about, depending on how many people are here, it holds about maybe 30 deposits. And we'll talk about that in a second. The urine goes into this hose right here, and this valve is what activates the whole system. Okay, these are the two primary control panels for the WHC. When the system is ready for use, it's a V. This means it's going to the UPA. So we say, check that it's V to P. All right, now we're on the inside of the hygiene compartment. Close the door so that you have your privacy. You take the funnel. This knob right here activates the whole system. It's very, very convenient because it's just one valve operates it all. But in the event that you forget how the system operates, or you're brand new here and you just want to double check,
Forget there's a
in good
paper on the
NASA
wall.
fashion, we have a checklist. This is called procedure 2.301, the WHC nominal operations cue card. It's got several blocks for operations. So there's two different ways where the pee can go. It can just go into a bucket, which is called a YETAVE, and essentially you're just peeing until that bucket's filled up, and then you have to swap out the bucket. Or you can configure WHC to UPA, the urine processor assembly, and that way the urine is going directly into the system, and that's where we normally keep it. It's most convenient for the crew members because you're not constantly changing out a tank. So there's a couple blocks to tell you how to make those changes, and some detailed steps if you need to know how exactly to do it. And in case things go wrong with the hardware, not yourself, there's
if you notice the number of cuts, this is like multiple zero-G flights.
All the different light combinations and the failure modes, but the bottom line is, if there's a red light, reach out to the ground, and together we figure out the path forward. Okay, back to normal
Somebody said
operation.
if you're new here.
Time to go.
Yeah.
You take the valve, and you turn it on. You hear the fan noise.
Imagine getting your ween stuck in there.
Check for airflow. I'll show you that there is, in fact, airflow. So a little bit of airflow, and that helps everything flow in the right direction. We've got our simulator.
It's all going to just go right down there. Male and female.
That's where your business goes. You're complete. You want to be a good crew member, so you make sure that you wipe off the excess. Use a disinfectant wipe occasionally or often, and then you simply turn the valve off. But I want to show you number 2 as well, so I'll leave it running and we'll roll right into that. Okay, when it is time to go, you flip this lever here, and that lifts up the lid. The seat here is about 5 or 6 inches in diameter, and there's a plastic liner in there.
He's touching it. Everyone poops in there. He's on the space station. It's the only toilet.
Here is green beans and mushrooms, and I do not like mushrooms, so I don't mind contributing this piece of food in the name of education. So pretend I ate this yesterday, and now it goes into there.
Yeah, just like a poop.
You clean yourself, and the wipes go into there as well. You take this red tab, you pull it off the rim, and depends on how full the container is. This one's about halfway through. We do have a stick,
the poop
and
stick.
you push it down in there. With all its other friends, and then it's time to put a new bag on. To put a new bag on, you pull the It's like a hair scrunchie.
So now you got to
get
lean
it
over
all
this thing
so it
and,
has max
and
capacity
put on a new
there,
bag.
and ready to go. Close it up. Close the lid. Now you've gone number 1. Number 2, you cleaned yourself up, and it's time to turn the system off. You just take this valve, rotate it to off.
Think how
Fan spins
disgusting
down.
that would be.
The
Pee
system
and
checks
poop
itself,
everywhere.
all the lights go out, and you're done. So congratulations, you've just used the WHC for the first time, and you've learned about the process. Hope it's educational, but I don't think it's going to lessen the amount of times I have to answer that question. Thanks for watching.
Wow. There you go. That
The guy doesn't even know the name of the privacy divider.
and
The
if you
guy's
look
an
at,
astronaut.
look at him, he looks so nauseous from so many zero-G flights. He's just struggling to get those lines out.
Oh my God. If you're new here, you can
Yeah.
use the directions. New, you're an astronaut. Your job is to memorize everything.
Yeah,
Well, if
they're
you're
going to
new
send
here, this is-
astronauts to space who probably have a stomach ache on the way up or feeling not good, and just like, oh, you'll figure out how to use the bathroom when you're up there. That's good. Yeah.
And then some of the water when he was putting it in the, the suction hose was going out. I'm like, they would have
Yeah,
that
and
thing
that-
sucking
wait, and-
everything out of you.
And that with that, he's just squeezing it lightly. Imagine, taking a good whiz in there. Holy crap.
Oh my
Holy
God.
crap.
If you're new here, oh my God, if you're new here.
All right, guys.
Biff.
I think I'm ready to wrap it up. This is my 5th interview, and I can't talk anymore.
Oh,
So much.
Dave, thank you so much, man. I've learned so much and everything from you. It's an honor to meet
Thanks,
you and be
Dave.
with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
I appreciate it, guys. It's always good talking to awake, aware people. Keep spreading the word.
You got it, my man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
If you ever decide to come
Will
on
do.
back on, let us know.
I'll be at Anarchapulco in February. So anybody that wants to go there virtually or in person, please do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You can find a link on my website.
Yep, and we'll post everything on the links in this
Yeah.
and on Rumble. So definitely, thank you so much, Dave.
Thank
and
you.
we love you.
Thank you.
See you guys. Thanks.
Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Dave, thank you very much.